So today, you know, we were sitting with Angela. She gonna probably have already told Pinky some of this stuff.
I mean, she's a nice person.
But it's just that she done heard this information.
And now she got an issue with me, which is so silly, because you can pick up the phone and call me.
You know, hi.
Hello.
I haven't seen you in so long.
Oh my gosh.
Look at you, tall and handsome.
Something very unexpected happened the moment Porsha and Phaedra came face to face again, and it didn't take long for things to turn uncomfortable. At first, their reunion looked normal. They smiled, greeted each other warmly, and for a brief moment, it felt like the past had been left behind. But that calm didn't last. Within minutes, the conversation started shifting in a way that felt intentional. Porsha made a comment, subtle, almost playful, but it carried weight. It pointed toward Phaedra's past, and specifically, her history with Apollo. It wasn't said directly, but the meaning was clear enough to change the tone of the entire moment. Phaedra paused, and instead of brushing it off, she responded in her own way. Calm, controlled, but just as pointed. This time, the focus shifted to Porsha and her connection with Simone. From that point on, it stopped being a friendly catch-up. It became a quiet exchange of personal remarks, each one more layered than the last. And what made it more intense was how calmly it all happened. Porsha Williams and Phaedra Parks are not strangers to drama. In fact, their history is one of the most complicated friendships in reality TV. What makes this reunion so intense is not just what is happening in the present, but everything that has already happened between them in the past. Porsha Williams first entered the spotlight as a confident and outspoken personality, someone who never backed down when confronted. Over time, she became known for her bold reactions, emotional honesty, and ability to turn even small misunderstandings into major television moments. Her presence has always carried energy, sometimes fun, sometimes explosive, but never unnoticed. On the other side, Phaedra Parks brought a completely different vibe. Calm, composed, and strategic in her words, she often played the role of someone who stayed controlled even when situations around her became chaotic. But behind that calm image, her personal life has often been surrounded by controversy, rumors, and public scrutiny that followed her for years. One of the biggest shadows in her past is her marriage to Apollo Nita. Their relationship was once seen as strong on the surface, but over time it became one of the most talked about breakdowns in reality television history. Legal issues, betrayal allegations, and public drama eventually led to their separation. Even though that chapter is technically over, it has never fully disappeared from public conversation. And this is exactly why the tension between Porsha and Phaedra feels so personal. Because their history isn't just about friendship, it includes trust issues, misunderstandings, and moments where loyalty was questioned. At one point, they were close. They shared conversations, support, and even private moments that fans believed were genuine. But reality TV has a way of changing everything. Small disagreements slowly turned into bigger conflicts. Conversations that once felt harmless began to feel calculated. And over time, silence replaced communication. What used to be a friendship turned into distance, and that distance turned into tension that never really got resolved. Now, years later, both women find themselves in a situation where the past is no longer in the background, it is directly in front of them. Every smile carries history. Every sentence carries meaning. And every interaction feels like it is being measured against everything that has already gone wrong before. What makes this reunion even more interesting is the environment around them. This is not a private conversation. It is happening in a space where everything is being watched, interpreted, and discussed. That pressure alone changes how people speak, react, and respond. So when Porsha and Phaedra finally come face to face again, it is not just a simple meeting. It is the collision of history, pride, unresolved emotions, and public perception. Nothing about it feels random. Everything feels loaded with meaning. And this is exactly why what happens next is not just another conversation. It becomes the beginning of something that neither of them can fully control anymore. The moment the reunion shifts from polite greetings to real conversation, the atmosphere changes completely. What started as a calm exchange between Porsha Williams and Phaedra Parks slowly turns into something much more tense, something neither of them is openly admitting, but both are clearly feeling. At first, it is subtle. A smile that lasts a second too long. A pause before answering. A tone that sounds friendly on the surface, but carries weight underneath. Then Porsha makes a comment that seems casual to everyone else in the room, but it immediately shifts the energy between them. She brings up Phaedra's past, specifically referencing her history with Apollo Nita. It is not a direct accusation, but it is not innocent either. The way she phrases it makes it feel like she is reminding Phaedra that her past is still visible, still discussed, and still part of her identity in the public eye. The room goes quiet for a second, not because it is loud, but because everyone understands what was just said without it being fully said out loud. Phaedra doesn't react immediately. That silence is important. It is controlled, intentional, and heavy. Then she responds, calm voice, steady expression, but her words land differently. Instead of defending herself, she redirects the energy. She doesn't deny the past. Instead, she subtly shifts attention toward Porsha's own relationship history, especially her connection to Simone. That is the first real twist. What was expected to be a one-sided shade moment suddenly becomes a two-way exchange. The focus is no longer just on Phaedra. Now Porsha is also under the same kind of spotlight she initiated. The conversation stops being about clarification and starts becoming about exposure. Other people around them try to laugh it off, but it doesn't land the same way. The energy is too sharp. Even the laughter feels uncomfortable. It becomes clear that both women are speaking carefully, choosing words that sound casual but carry hidden meaning. Porsha tries to keep the tone light, but her expressions change slightly each time Phaedra responds. Meanwhile, Phaedra remains composed, but her replies are precise, almost too precise, like she is intentionally matching every shade with equal pressure. What makes this moment more intense is that nothing is openly aggressive. There are no raised voices, no direct confrontation. Instead, it is controlled communication, the kind where every sentence has a second meaning. And that is what turns this from a simple reunion into a conflict. Because now it is not just about what was said, it is about what was meant. And in that silence between their words, everyone in the room can feel it. This is no longer a friendly conversation. It is a silent battle of history, pride, and unresolved tension that is only just beginning. As the conversation continues, the tension between Porsha Williams and Phaedra Parks doesn't settle. It actually intensifies in a way nobody in the room expected. What started as subtle shade now begins to spread beyond the moment itself, almost like the impact of every word is growing in real time. After the initial exchange about Apollo Nita and the indirect mention of Porsha's connection with Simone, the situation takes another turn. According to insider reactions floating around the room, someone allegedly records a short clip of the interaction. That clip, within minutes, starts circulating privately among attendees, and the energy shifts instantly. Phones are checked. Expressions change. Whispers start. Because now it is no longer just a private exchange, it is becoming something that could leak outside the room. Then comes the shocking reveal moment. A separate comment from Phaedra, said quietly but clearly picked up by people nearby, suggests that the tension between her and Porsha was never fully resolved behind the scenes. She allegedly hints that certain past events were misrepresented publicly, and that not everything about the Apollo situation was ever fully understood by others. That statement immediately changes how people interpret everything that came before it. Now Porsha is no longer just reacting emotionally. She looks alert, almost surprised, as if she didn't expect that direction. The conversation, which was already tense, now feels like it has opened a deeper layer of unresolved history that neither side is fully addressing out loud. Within minutes, fake social media reactions begin appearing in the narrative, people inside the room allegedly messaging outside contacts, saying things like, "This is way bigger than expected," and "This wasn't supposed to come up on camera." The situation escalates further when someone mentions that producers or organizers might step in if the conversation continues on this path. That possibility alone adds pressure to the environment, making every word feel more controlled, but also more dangerous. And just when it feels like things might slow down, another question is raised quietly, but sharply, about loyalty, trust, and what really happened behind closed doors during their past friendship. No one answers it directly. And that silence becomes the most powerful part of the entire moment, because it suggests that the real truth is still not fully on the table. As soon as word of the heated exchange between Porsha Williams and Phaedra Parks begins to circulate, the reaction outside the room becomes almost louder than the moment itself. Even without an official full recording, fragments of what allegedly happened start spreading through group chats, fan pages, and entertainment blogs. Within hours, social media begins to split into two clear sides. One group believes Porsha was simply defending herself after being indirectly provoked about her personal life and connections. The other group feels Phaedra handled the situation with more control, arguing that she responded calmly while still making her point clear. The disagreement quickly turns into a full online debate. Mentions of Apollo Nita resurface again across posts, with users revisiting old clips and past storylines, trying to connect them with what supposedly happened in the reunion. At the same time, Porsha's supporters push back, saying the conversation was unfairly twisted and that bringing up old history was unnecessary and intentional. Fake insider accounts begin posting detailed breakdowns of the moment, claiming that the tension was visible even before anything was said out loud. Some posts suggest that the atmosphere in the room changed the second both women made eye contact, while others claim that producers had to stay on standby due to how quickly the energy escalated. Entertainment pages start framing the situation differently depending on their audience. Some headlines describe it as a silent war of words, while others call it a controlled but explosive reunion moment. The lack of an official full clip only fuels speculation further, as every short snippet gets interpreted in multiple ways. Even within celebrity commentary spaces, reactions appear divided. Some personalities allegedly praise Phaedra for staying composed under pressure, while others argue that Porsha's directness made the moment more authentic and unfiltered. The disagreement adds another layer to an already complicated narrative. As discussions grow, the situation stops being just about two people in a room. It becomes a wider conversation about loyalty, public perception, and how past relationships are judged years later in the spotlight. And just when it seems like the debate might slow down, another rumor begins to surface, suggesting that the full version of the exchange may not have even been shown yet. Just when it seemed like the situation between Porsha Williams and Phaedra Parks had already reached its peak, a new layer of the story begins to surface, and this one changes the entire direction of the narrative. According to emerging insider claims, what the public has seen so far is not even the full exchange. It is being suggested that there was a second, more private moment after the main conversation, one that happened away from the group, where tensions allegedly escalated in a completely different way. No cameras, no audience reaction, just a direct exchange between the two. In this alleged private moment, the tone reportedly shifted from controlled shade to something more direct and emotionally loaded. References to Apollo Nita reportedly came up again, but this time in a way that felt less like casual shade and more like unresolved history being pushed back to the surface. At the same time, Porsha is said to have questioned the consistency of certain past narratives, implying that what people believe they know may not be the full truth. What makes this twist even more intense is the suggestion that both women left the interaction without any real resolution. No apology, no agreement. Just silence, the kind of silence that usually means the conversation is far from over. Shortly after, social media speculation explodes again, this time focusing on one key question: why did the second part of the interaction never fully appear in public footage? Fans begin theorizing whether it was edited out, delayed, or saved for a future reveal. That uncertainty becomes the biggest fuel for discussion. Some posts claim that even people present in the room were left shocked, describing the energy afterward as completely different from what was shown initially. Others suggest that what really happened in that private moment could reshape how the entire reunion is understood. And then comes the final chilling detail, an unverified rumor that both Porsha and Phaedra were later seen avoiding any direct interaction after the event, despite being in the same space. No confirmation, no clarification, just distance. And that is where the story ends for now, not with closure, not with resolution, but with a growing question that no one seems ready to answer yet. What really happened in that second conversation, and why hasn't the full truth come out yet? So after everything that went down between Porsha Williams and Phaedra Parks, one question is still hanging in the air: what actually happened behind closed doors? Because what the public saw was only a part of the moment. And what's being rumored online makes it even more confusing. Was this just a simple misunderstanding that turned into shade? Or was there already deep, unresolved tension waiting to explode? And the most interesting part is how old history keeps coming back into the conversation. People are still connecting things back to Apollonida and past relationships, as if something from years ago is still shaping what's happening today. But the real question is, are we seeing the full truth, or just selected pieces of it? Now I want to hear from you. In your opinion, who really escalated the situation first? Do you think Porsha pushed too hard, or Phaedra responded in a controlled but calculated way? And most importantly, do you believe there is still a hidden side of this story that hasn't been revealed yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because everyone is seeing this situation differently, and the debate is getting bigger every hour. If you enjoy deep breakdowns like this, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because the next update could take this entire story in a completely new direction. And honestly, this doesn't feel like the end. It feels like we're only at the beginning of something much bigger.